Hi, hello, my name is Daniela and welcome to my March wrap-up. Today I look like shit because I don't have time to do my hair and makeup. I barely had time to get dressed because my parents just left and I can only film when they're gone because I need silence to film. We live in a three-room apartment, so you can hear everything basically. So yeah, now I have a little time for myself. So I just wanted to quickly do this wrap up because I wanted to try to get this done on the first Monday of the month, but I didn't have a chance to film, so at least the second Monday of the month, hopefully this will go up. So yeah, fingers crossed. But yeah, welcome to my March wrap up, and let's just jump right into it because like I said, we don't have a lot of time. So in the month of March I read 8 books, which is chef's kiss. Oh great, I'm getting better at this. And I must say the reason why I'm reading so much is all thanks to audiobooks. This is not sponsored by any audiobook platform. I don't use any specific audiobook platform, but yeah, when I'm at work, I listen to audiobooks. At the moment I'm going through the Dune series chronicles, which I am going to be talking a few of the books in this wrap up. And out of the 8 books that I read, 3 were audiobooks and 2 were manga. So the first book I read in March is The Mark of Athena by Rick Riordan. I am still not sure how to say his name, if it's Riordan or Rodden or Rick. I want to say like instinctively Rick Rodden, but I think it's Riordan, like Jordan, but with an R. Not sure. But yeah, I took a little break from the Heroes of Olympus series in February. Read a little bit something else and then jumped back into this one. This is the 3rd book in the Heroes of Olympus series, and in this book Annabeth is about to be reunited after 6 months with Percy. The Mark of Athena is a prophecy that will send 7 demigods to search for the doors of death. It is narrated by only 4 of the 7 demigods. It is a journey across land and sea to Rome. It includes discoveries, surprises, unspeakable horrors, and sacrifices. That's a little short synopsis for you. And yeah, this was probably the most refreshing book out of the series for me because it kind of shifted gears from the classic Rick Riordan formula of 3 demigods going on a quest. They have a plan, the plan goes wrong, but it works out anyway, if you hadn't known. Yeah, it kind of shifts, and this is more centered on Annabeth than anyone else because like the Mark of Athena is her quest to have primarily. She's supposed to mark on this alone. And after I didn't realize that only 4 of the 7 demigods narrate in this book, which I don't know if that says something about me or if this says something about the writing that was just so good that I didn't even notice, or that I'm just not that or that I just don't notice things. But I noticed it right after I finished this one. I picked up The House of Hate. When I started to read, I was like, oh, I haven't heard from you in a while, like where have you been this entire series? And I realized that person, I don't want to say who because it's kind of spoilery, but yeah, I realized that person wasn't in this book. Like we don't have their point of view in this book. But yeah, this was the first 5-star that I gave from the Heroes of Olympus series, and it was a masterpiece. It was great. I really don't have anything bad to say about this because after the first 2 books, like it kind of got repetitive, but like I said, this one changed the formula. It was very refreshing. Yeah, I loved it. The series just keeps getting better and better, and I can't wait to explore more of Rick Riordan's writing because I'm going to talk about the rest of the books in the series because I did finish them this month. I don't know if I finished the last book in April or this month. We'll see. I have my notes, so we'll see. But yeah, 5 out of 5, would highly recommend. If my other ramblings about the Heroes of Olympus series hadn't persuaded you to pick this up, please know that this book is 100% worth it. Next we have The House of Hades, which is the 4th book of the Heroes of Olympus series. And the cover, I just wanted you to see. I thought that this was Nico and Hazel, but it's actually Percy and Annabeth, which when I didn't read this, didn't know what was happening. Or after actually I read the 3rd book, I was like, oh wait, this isn't Nico and Hazel, this is Percy and Annabeth. And I think this is actually the 1st book, if I'm not wrong, where we get... Oh no, it's not. Is it? No. Okay, no, it's not. So in this book, Hazel, Annabeth, Percy, and the other demigods face their biggest challenge yet. We get a little bit of Nico in this book, which Nico, I love that kid. I would die for that boy. He is so precious to me. I resonated with him very much, like the brooding Italian boy. I don't know, something about Nico just works for me. And I know, like, I don't want to say spoilers, but I know he's a special boy. I'll say it like that. But he just still has a special place in my heart. First it was like attraction, but now it's like a different type of thing. Like, you know. Anyway, Nico is great. Yeah, Nico is great. And I read this book in such quick succession that I really don't even have any like gripes with it, because I think I read this in like a week, which is pretty good since I was going to work like the whole week for 8 hours a day. But yeah, I was so into this book. Like I don't know. This, like I said, the series just keeps getting better and better for me, and I loved it. I loved every part of this. This one concentrates more on Frank and Hazel. I feel they are the focus of the party in this book, which I'm starting to see like a pattern. Like you get a few demigods that we focus on in each book, even though like they're all together. But yeah, 5 out of 5. Don't really have anything much to say about this. It was a great read. Then we have Dune by Frank Herbert, released originally in 1965. Dune is the 1st book in the Dune Chronicles. I believe there are 8 or 7 books in the Chronicles. It's kind of blurry because there are more books to like the Dune universe, but I don't know which end the Chronicles of Frank Herbert, because then his son Brent or Brian, I believe, continues with the universe, which I don't really consider like part of the Chronicles. But anyway, yeah, so I'll scooch a little and I'll pop up the cover up here. So Dune, I picked this up because I just happened to stumble upon the audiobook. So like, well, sure, whatever, this really doesn't seem like my cup of tea, but I'll give it a shot. Didn't really have any expectations going into it. Yeah, and I didn't have any expectations coming out of it. It was fine for me. I'm not really a sci-fi kind of girl, although I do love The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the movie. I want to read the books at some point, and I do generally want to find my niche in the sci-fi genre. Maybe there's just like a couple of things that I enjoy more or less, so I want to like find them in that genre. Like that's what this channel is all about. It's finding your niche in books, finding what works for me, you. That's what I'm doing. So if you don't know what Dune is about, it's set on a desert planet called Arrakis, following a boy named Paul Atreides, heir to a noble family. The only thing of value is the spice melange, a drug capable of enhancing life and consciousness. That's like a short little synopsis. If you want to go more deeper into it, research more into it, go ahead. I like to go into books kind of blind, which is good and bad. My gripes with this book was I was kind of afraid of one, like it's an older book, a male writer. I was afraid of some like misogyny and stuff like that, which I didn't find. especially like in the beginning, like this is the first chapter, you see that Paul is a special boy. You have this society of women called the Bene Gesserit, which is fascinating to me, which I now know that the later books are about. But the Bene Gesserit, and they are waiting for this like male who is going to be superior to them, basically. Which I was kind of like, oh my god, is this gonna be the boy being the special one again, and basically being a savior to this woman, which wasn't. In the end, it wasn't that. That was my biggest like yikes, is this gonna be something controversial? But it wasn't. So I have to applaud Frank Herbert for that. And even in the other books, because I am on the last book in this series currently, even in the other books, this doesn't happen. Actually, I think Frank Herbert writes females pretty well. Female characters, women, he writes it pretty well. Also, I noticed a question on Goodreads, is this good for children? The first book is. The first book I would totally give to 10-year-old or a 12-year-old, but maybe a 10-year-old wouldn't understand it quite well. The writing isn't complicated, it's just like some of the plot points might be a little bit more complicated. So a 12-year-old might understand it. But even in the second book, you have talk about sex. I don't mind showing or talking about sex in books with children, like teens, especially if it's in a delicate way where it's healthily presented. But in this book, it's more like talking about sperm. Like in the second book, it's talking about sperm and procreation and heirs. So it's not really, I don't know, it wouldn't put it to like a 12-year-old. A 14-year-old, sure, a 14-year-old can devour this series and I would be totally fine with it, because me at 14, I read the 50 Shades series. Should I have? No. But I did, and I think I'm fine. I don't know if it left any psychological damage on me. 12-year-olds, maybe not. 14-year-olds would probably be okay with it. As for recommendations, I would recommend this to anyone who is into classic sci-fi. This is a classic among the sci-fi books, and that's one of the reasons why I picked it up. And yeah, anyone who enjoys sci-fi, I think, will enjoy this. Or someone who maybe wants to get into the sci-fi genre, like, this is a good starter book. And I gave it a 3 out of 5 because I couldn't give it a 2 because I appreciate it for what it is and I didn't enjoy it enough for a 4. The next thing I read is the first volume of Death Note. I read it in Czech. It's Death Note, like, what can I say? It's great. If you don't know what this is about, it first came out in Shonen, I think it was published in Shonen Jump in 2004. It is a part of the series, of course, like multiple volumes of manga. This is just the first volume. There are 13 volumes of manga plus a short little thing that came out 2 or 3 years ago, like a short story. And if you want to know what this is about Light Yagami, who is a ace student, straight A's, goes to cram school, helps out his father, who is a cop, with different types of problems, you know, great guy. But he is bored with his life. But all that changes when he finds the Death Note, a notebook dropped by a rogue Shinigami, a death god. And any human whose name is written in this Death Note dies. So Light has vowed to use the power of the Death Note to rid the world of evil. And honestly, what more can I say about Death Note that hasn't already been said? I think this is a classic among manga and classic among the thriller genre in general, and I would highly recommend this to thriller lovers or just manga lovers who haven't picked it up. Pick up either the manga or the anime, not the movie Netflix adaptation or series. I don't know if it's a series or movie because I haven't watched it because it's shit. Oh yeah, and I gave this a 5 out of 5. Love the story, love the illustrations. Next, I finished Dune Messiah by Frank Herbert, which originally came out in 1969. It is the second book in the Dune Chronicles and the second installment of the Dune Chronicles explores new developments on the planet Arrakis. Dune Messiah picks up the story of a man known as Muad'Dib, heir to an unimaginable power. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this when I was talking about Dune. I don't think I did. But the audiobook for Dune was a little bit off. I thought it was going to be a full cast because they said all these names, but then it turned out to be different people just reading different parts and not even the same parts. Like, it was a mess. I didn't know who was reading because one guy was reading for Paul, but then he was reading for someone else, and then he was reading for Jessica, and it was just mess. The second book was better with that. The audiobook, it didn't change narrators. I think it changed only twice narrators, whereas the first one changed multiple times. So that's great. It was easier to follow, and I like this one more because it hinged more on politics than anything else. Also, I never read a series or book in general that relied so heavily on religion as a plot point. It was very interesting to me, and I found a lot of things that I never realized even in our own society, with religion being a political thing, which I know is stupid, but I didn't realize, like, I knew religion is a political thing, but I didn't realize how much it is a political thing until I read this series and was like, wow, like they're supposed to be fanatics in a way. And I see like a reflection of our society, kind of, which is scary. But yeah, there's not much else to say. It went on the same lines, kind of, as the first book. So if you didn't enjoy the first book, you wouldn't enjoy this book. And like I said, they talk about like pre-production in a way that's kind of very sterile. So I wouldn't recommend this to a younger child, maybe a teenager. But yeah, I enjoyed this book more than I did the first one because of the politics. I realized I really enjoy like politics in high society and kind of like intrigue. So definitely gonna be diving more into that. But yeah, 3 stars for this one again. Then I read the second volume of Death Note by Tsugumi Oba. In this one, Light uses the Death Note to kill FBI agents working on the case of Kira in Japan. But one of the agents has a fiance who used to work in the bureau. Like, the Death Note series just gets better and better with every volume. So if you haven't already picked it up, pick it up. Again, manga or anime, not the Netflix adaptation. And I give this one 5 stars also. Then I listened to The Children of Dune, the third book in the Frank Herbert Dune Chronicles. This one was published in 1976. In the third book, the sand-covered world of Arrakis has become green, watered, and fertile. But for the Children of Dune, the blossoming of their planet also contains its destruction. Yeah, this book was losing me in a lot of ways. The audiobooks are getting better and better, but I just didn't like the characters in this one. It doesn't follow Muad'Dib anymore. It follows his kid. I want to say Luther, but it's not Luther. Ganima, I know Ganima, and Leto. Leto was his name. So Ganima and Leto, the twins of Paul Muad'Dib, and his concubine. I can't remember her name. She was an important character in the first 2 books, but she didn't get enough screen time. Sorry. I had a problem with one of the plot points where they made like a previously good character the villain. But I think the book explained why pretty good, so at the end I understood. But this book just kept losing me. I don't know. This was my favorite book. I still gave it 3 stars because like nothing much changed. The writing was still the same. Like the plot shifted, of course, because it's not the same characters. But I don't know. Something about the plot just threw me for a loop. So yeah, not my favorite from the series. And I gave this one a 3 out of 5, like I said. And the last book I read this month, in the month of May, is The Blood of Olympus by Rick Riordan. The last book in the Heroes of Olympus series, the 5th book. And let me tell you what it was about first, so you know. The Blood of Olympus is the electrifying finale of the Heroes of Olympus series. All of them know that one of the 7 has to die in order to defeat Gaia, the Earth Mother. Heroes, gods, and monsters all have a role to play in the climactic fulfillment of the prophecy. This was probably my favorite book of the series. It was, chef's kiss. It is so good. So good, so good, so good. We get so much of Nico in this book, and I'm so happy. I want to cry. I think he's a main character in the Trials of Apollo series, which I am going to be picking up. You know how happy I was when I saw Nico's name, like on the header? I was like, oh, Nico. Oh, I'm just tearing up thinking about it. I love Nico so much. But yeah. Also, I enjoyed Reina very much. I didn't think I would enjoy her as a character from like a point of view. Like, she seemed interesting enough as a side character, but like as a main character, she was pretty good. Like, I enjoyed her very much. The ending was kind of a little bit open-ended for me, too much open-ended. I would like a little bit more concreteness, but I totally understand. I get it. It was perfect in its way. Love it. I just love this book. 5 out of 5. If I could give it a 10 out of 5, I would. Oh, but one gripe that I do have actually is, if this wasn't the last book and continued, it would probably bug me more. But since it was the last book, and I started noticing it in this book, it didn't. And that is when something like got interesting from a character's point of view, like you wanted to know more, it switched to a different character's point of view in a different situation, which it's good writing, but it annoyed me so much. Like, I want to know what happened. You build this up. I want to know what happened. Don't suddenly switch on me, you know? But I totally understand and get it. But yeah, love it. Love this book so much. Love this series so much. Love Rick so much. Rick, if you want to be my godfather, or like the godfather of my children, I would totally understand. And I still want to name my children after like Greek gods now, or Roman gods, but I know that wouldn't sound good in my country. So yeah, I'm just in love with this series, if you couldn't tell. And yeah, that's all the books for the month of March that I read. As for the month of April, I am reading these bad boys, which are the JoJo Part 1 series manga. Look at them, they are beautiful. Did I buy them because they look good? I didn't know they looked this good. I didn't know. I thought they were gonna be kind of like Uzumaki, like the thick bulk Uzumaki, not the manga, the bound collection. But I didn't know, like I have 3 of these, like 1, 2, and 1/2 down here. Also, I got this bad boy. This is a thick boy and it has very little writing. I'm gonna be listening to this on audiobook, and probably gonna be listening to a bunch of other audiobooks, and I want to like do a special video, but I don't know if the books will come this month or next month. I'm just gonna go and order them, and when they do come, you're gonna have a little fun video to watch. But yeah, I'm really excited about my reading. This is probably the year where I read the most, and I'm actually really happy and excited to read more and just to read. Yeah, really happy, in a good mood. So this video is already 40 minutes long. It won't be when I edit it, but it's gonna kill my phone. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Also, I have a little shop I opened at Redbubble with some stuff if you want to buy something that I designed. I do want to eventually get my own shop, but for now Redbubble is fine, where I don't have to think about production or anything. So yeah, I'll leave a link down below if you want to check that out. I do bookish and anime stuff, if that's interesting too. But yeah, all my other social media links down below. Please like and subscribe if you like this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.